Yo, this ain't like the bug. You know, businesses ran so crazy. You get somebody on the phone. You can't never get nobody on the phone, but you get everybody calling you on the phone. While you, whatever you doing, scam potential. You know what I'm saying? They sit on the phone, call you all day. You call the numbers you supposed to call, you can't get nobody on the fucking phone. Excuse me. So it ain't like the bug. I just went in, right? But, people working from home sometimes, most cases or whatever, but it's like, I don't know why you can't never, I'll be on the phone for hours. You know what I'm saying? And I guess they be like, no, go online. You're going to go online. So I'm either going to go to the facility, but I kind of refuse to go online. I guess I'm a little bit over my ways. Like, I like having paperwork. I like having conversations when I'm having, especially about my health or about my bills that I'm paying. You ain't have no problem inviting me to pay. You ain't had that problem, but then you got to invite me to ask you some questions. Like, there's nobody there when you're trying to call the numbers that they give you to call, but you got constant numbers calling you. So now I got to go to the place. I don't know how I picked up the phone that was supposed to be for a hearing. Nobody said nothing. I'm saying, I'm hello. Nobody saying nothing. Then the phone go dead. So would it made me miss something? Am I hearing or something? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't even know what that was about. That was just frustrating me. Like, really? I have no idea. So I don't know if there was a pre-call. I had no idea. Maybe it's telling me, hey, you have an upcoming one. I don't know what it is. They never said nothing. I don't know if it was a tape that was supposed to get played. I have no idea. But I'm just frustrated. So I went to the preliminary doctor. The doctor was for, to find out for us my sleep apnea. You know what I mean? I had a sleep apnea machine once. But, getting it the first time, it was like, man, it wasn't sexy. I don't want to have no sleep apnea machine. If you live in a single, like, you want to go to sleep, you're like, yeah, I got a room for you to sleep in. You know what I mean? You don't want nobody seeing you on that contraption. It looks weird, you know what I'm saying? But I did find out that women have it too at a certain age, and theirs can be as strong as ours as they get older. So women, yeah, y'all do snore. Y'all think y'all don't fucking snore, y'all snore. So anyway, it's a sleep deprivation, you know what I'm saying? So you always got it, because if you up all the time and you got crash sleeping habits, trust me, you're snoring sometimes because you're never getting the proper sleep that your body needs. And when you crash, that's when you usually snore, because you hard or you in it. You know what I mean? Now, whether you got sleep apnea or not, that's something else. Snoring doesn't mean that you have sleep apnea. A lot of times that's why they tell you to go to sleep study. Sleep study tells you in which pattern, the way that, how many times that you wake up. I used to have to go to the facility for the sleep thing and say, no, we send it to you now. You know what I mean? We tell you how to do it, and then you send us back the results. You bring the machine back, and then we read the results. So, to me, that's a little bit more comfortability, you know what I'm saying, in your home, and to actually get it. Because when I had to go to the facility, I don't think I really slept because I wasn't in a comfortable place. I had to go there, you know what I mean, somebody watching me, you know what I mean, sleep, you know what I mean. I just was like kind of weird. But I also thought that, man, it's a hell of a job. It was you do a sleep study. Now that's the job that I think I could turn around and do. Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Go for a respiratory tech. You know what I mean? Because I think their job is close to that. I'm gonna look into that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it was in my atmosphere of my life that I had to get presented to it and understanding, like, your heart stopping. You know what I'm saying? That could be healthy to your heart rhythm. You have what they call a rhythmic pattern. The arrhythmia, it can knock it off by you having, skipping heartbeats and stuff like that, being scared. You mean woken up out of your sleep. Anytime you're woken up out of your sleep, your heart's going to beat a different beat and pattern. You having dreams, your heart's going to beat a different pattern. So imagine you got dreams, nightmares, or whatever, and you got sleep apnea. Everything waking up, keeping you sleep. You can't sleep because, whatever your issues, One was I worked overnights, but also my mind was always racing. I couldn't sleep also because I was also in a vehicle accident, and that trauma prevented me to really sleep easy. You know what I mean? Then I also got nerve condition where the tissue, my muscles and my nerves and everything is atrophied, so everything's leaning up on it. I don't have the same protective fat and muscle that I had before, so now I'm leaning on the organs and stuff like that bothers because I don't have the same amount of flesh and muscle. But anyway, so I have a problem sleeping at night, back issues, hand issues, you know what I mean, where I feel like I almost got like Tourette, where shocks of pain on my fingers and thumbs. Like I got to use both hands sometimes to drive because my fingers sometimes aren't strong enough to do it. So it's a lot of little different stuff. But anyway, with your heart stopping, I'm pretty sure that can cause a lot of stuff. Cancer, because you're not getting the circulation. Like, I'm saying maybe like clotting and oxygen and stuff like that. That's what you do during your breathing patterns is create oxygen. Inpull with your excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going over railroad tracks, and I always got to look. I do not care if I don't hear no bells and no ring and nothing. I'm going to look across that track, both back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, you just never know what happens. So, but yeah, some of us, we getting older and we don't think about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? When I got placed that machine, the first thing I thought was, man, I wouldn't be wearing this if I was single, because this ain't sexy. You know what I'm saying? Looking like you about to play Star Wars or something. You know what I'm saying? Looking as though you're going to play Star Wars or something. I said, so, that wasn't sexy to me. So, in that position, but I was married. But my wife is the one that told me that, you seem to stop breathing. And I was like, what? So, it looked me to go to get a pulmonary doctor to look at. You know what I'm saying? First I was like, wow, that got to do with my heart. You know what I mean? But it does. So, that's the thing. Like I said, it's nothing. I don't got no heart condition, but hey, it can impose a heart condition onto you. You know what I'm saying? By it not functioning properly. So yeah. So, as y'all get older, there's some things y'all need to think about, your skin and your neck loses its weight, during aging. So, things isn't pumping the same like that. You're leaning on a lot part of your body. That's why, like, when you get heavy, they say that, because you can't probably get a bump off your body well, you know what I'm saying? So, But, it's just some things to think about, y'all. You know what I mean? I usually would have put this on my live, but it's kind of the same thing. It's unscripted, you know what I mean? My feelings, I just didn't want to do the live right now at this moment. But, saying like the bug, giving y'all a little health life tip. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself. Like I said, I'll be 54 in 20-something days or less, So, stick around and be around February 2nd. Tell me happy birthday. You better. But yeah. But other than that, y'all, that's really it. I'm back home. So I'm about to nail it down. Just something that came to me. I didn't want to be on live because I knew I wasn't going to be on air that long. So I'll help with y'all later.